As Iran pounds Gulf targets, is Netanyahu now warning that Israelis themselves could be hunted inside the UAE? Why is Israel urgently warning its own citizens in the UAE to lie low just as Iran points missiles at Emirati ports and docks? Are Israeli security chiefs now bracing for a secret Iranian operation in the Gulf, with teams looking specifically for Israeli targets? When Israel tells its citizens no synagogues, no Israeli offices in the UAE, how deep does the fear of an IRGC-linked strike really run? Israel is now warning its citizens in the UAE to lay low and stay out of sight, just as Iran threatens what it calls its deadliest wave of strikes. The National Security Council has issued a fresh advisory specifically for Israelis currently living or staying in the Emirates. That alert lands amid a series of Iranian drone and missile attacks hitting targets across multiple Gulf states. The NSC warns there is a concrete concern that Iranian-linked elements may attempt to single out Israelis anywhere in the Gulf region. It urges those already in the UAE to follow strict safety precautions, not just rely on local security measures. Israel is also advising citizens to avoid traveling to, or even transiting through, the Emirates until further notice. Officials say flight conditions in and out of the UAE are unstable due to ongoing interceptions and changing air defense alerts. National Security Council guidelines urged Israelis to avoid attending events or gatherings clearly identified with Israel or Israeli symbols. Do not visit synagogues or businesses with a strong Israeli profile. Stay away from airports unless you have a valid flight ticket and an imminent departure, to avoid becoming a soft target. Employees of Israeli companies are told not to report to offices or facilities visibly linked to Israeli operations in the Emirates. Do not book flights with layovers in the UAE. And remember that special return flights for Israelis are expected to end by March 15th. Iran's IRGC has warned UAE residents to evacuate certain ports, labeling those facilities legitimate targets for retaliation. The threat came from Iran's Qatar Al-Anbiya central headquarters on March 14th, in a statement carried by state-aligned media. Iranian officials claim US forces have shifted to firing missiles from facilities hidden inside ports, docks, and city hideouts. They allege those launch points were used to hit Iranian sites including Abu Musa and Kharg Island, making them fair game in Tehran's eyes.
The invading U.S. military, after its military bases in the region were destroyed, has fired missiles at the Iranian island of Abu Musa while taking shelter in ports, docks, and hideouts within cities in the UAE. We declare to the leaders of the UAE that the Islamic Republic of Iran considers it its legitimate right, in defense of its national sovereignty and territory, to strike and hit the launch points of American enemy missiles located in shipping ports, docks, and the hideouts of U.S. forces that are taking cover in some cities of the UAE. We call on the Muslim people of the UAE and residents of populated areas to clear out of the ports, docks, and the hideouts used by American forces in UAE cities so that they do not get harmed. Surely Allah is mighty, the Lord of retribution.
Shortly after Iran's warning, dark smoke was seen rising from the direction of major energy installations near Fujairah. On March 15th, the UAE reported a new missile and drone attack, just one day after Iran urged residents to evacuate port areas. On March 13th, US bombers hit more than 90 Iranian military targets on Kharg Island in a massive raid. Kharg handles roughly 90% of Iran's crude exports and lies close to the Strait of Hormuz choke point, giving it huge strategic value. Trump has boasted that the raid totally obliterated every military site on the island but deliberately spared oil infrastructure, at least for now. Iran has vowed that if its oil hub is hit again, US-linked energy facilities across the region could be turned into a pile of ashes in response.